So hi, I'm Marika Konings. I'm a policy director at ICANN, and in that role I support the GNSO generic name supporting organization in its policy development activities. So in that role I'm responsible for helping and assisting working groups in their activities and trying to facilitate their discussions and getting to consensus on some of the issues that are currently under discussion for the generic name supporting organization. So just to give you an idea on some of the issues that we're currently working on and that I believe should be of interest to the larger internet community are things relating to how are transfers between registrars conducted and what rules and procedures should go around that so that it's easy and transparent how registrants can transfer their domain names from one registrar to another. Other issues that we're looking at is registration abuse. What kind of initiatives should the GNSO undertake to address registration abuse, and which of those abuses fit within the ICANN's mission and remit?
Would you be able to give an example of such an abuse that you have worked on the past, just to illustrate a little bit?
Well, one of the abuses that we've looked at in a GNSO context is actually fast flux. Which is a technique used by cyber criminals to evade detection. So it uses rapid changes of name servers and other technical elements, and so the debate has sparked like what can ICANN do in that context to avoid that kind of use by cyber criminals. So that's one of the abuses that we're looking at, and the working group that's currently tasked with looking at what areas might fit within ICANN's remit has actually come up with a long list of abuses that goes from cyber squatting to front running, fake renewal notices, all kinds of issues that they've tried to use to map what is out there, try to define, what does it actually mean, or what do we understand by, what is the definition of that type of abuse, because we found as well that many people think certain things fall under a certain category, but it's actually not doesn't fall on the definition that the group is working on. And then looking at recommendations, so what kind of policy steps could the GNSO Council take or ICANN in other parts of the organization to address those specific types of abuses. So that will be a next step. And of course this all goes together with discussing this with the community, having public comment periods, and making sure that input is received from different parties on this. And just to stress as well, like all these working groups are open for anyone interested to participate. These are not restricted. This is well a call for participation from my side, because I think the broader representation we have in this group and the broader voices that are being heard, I think the better policy we'll get at the end of the road, and the better it will be for the broader interest and the greater good of the internet community.
So if I would be interested to get engaged, first to learn what has already been done, and then see where my particular interests and strengths can be added to these working groups, what would be specific recommendations that you would advise me to do?
Well, a good starting point would be if you're really new to the GNSO and the issues they're looking at, a great start would be the policy update, and a suggestion or recommendation would be to sign up for that. It's a monthly update that the policy team provides on the different policy organizations within ICANN, so it's not only generic name supporting organizations but also others. But they provide a snapshot on what the different groups are looking at, the issues they're addressing, and provides as well information on how to get involved.
But is that like a website, or is this a newsletter?
It's a newsletter that is sent by email. You can also access it through our website, so you can find that information there as well. And that will normally use as well as a tool to call for volunteers. If there are any new initiatives, to ask people, if you're interested, please sign up. But again, any of the ongoing initiatives are open as well for participation. So if anyone has a very strong interest in a certain issue that is already under discussion, they shouldn't hesitate to get in touch and join the working group. And even if you're, if you don't have the time to sign up for a working group, because of course there's a certain expectation, and if you really want to get involved, it does require time and resources. You know, many of these groups meet on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. It's the expectation that members of a group, you know, participate by providing contributions or writing certain parts that will then go into a document. So it, you know, requires a certain commitment. But if you feel like, you know, that's maybe too much because I have another job, you know, that I need to do at the same time, you know, there are opportunities as well through public comment periods, or, you know, just sending suggestions to the group that, you know, it can be reflected in that way. So there are different ways of having your voice heard and being able to participate in order to ensure that, you know, what we come up with at the end of the day is something that reflects the opinion of the broad community.
Thank you very much.